Welcome to Fujoshi Trash Talk. Are you a Fujoshi? Are you trash? Then you found where you belong. My name is Stacey. I am the host of this little podcast, and today I am joined by Jen.
Hi.
And we are actually in Japan right now. We came here this summer for a study program, and while we're here, we decided to find trashy things like Doujinshi events to wallow in and feel our Fujoshiness. So, on August 19th, 2018, we went to an event called Super Comic City Kansai 24, which took place in the Kansai area, specifically Osaka, which is a lovely large city in Japan. If you've never been, you should definitely come check it out.
Definitely.
So, I guess we should start by saying what other experiences have we had at doujinshi events and cons. So Jen, have you been to other doujinshi events in Japan before?
Yes. I think the first one I went to was in Osaka when I was studying here for a year abroad. And then I went to Comiket Winter in Tokyo for all 3 days by myself. And I've also been to another smaller doujinshi event in Fukuoka. So I've not been to this specific doujinshi event, but I've been to a few different ones all over the country, and they're very different from American conventions, but the Japanese events like these are always pretty similar.
Yeah. So similar to other doujinshi events basically that you've been to before?
Yeah, this one was definitely a lot larger than the other ones. I'd say it was probably similar size to Comiket in terms of just the space and the tables, but probably not the people.
Yeah. I haven't looked up what the attendance numbers were, but it seemed like a lot of people. But probably definitely less than the 500,000 that wander through Comiket these days. As for me, I went to Comiket once a long time ago while I was studying abroad in the summer of 2004. At that time, it probably wasn't nearly as big as it is these days, and I'm kind of afraid to try to go to Comiket as it is now, just from hearing the stories of how crazy it is and how it generates its own sweat cloud.
Well, I'd say any convention can get pretty funky when you have a large group of nerds in a small space.
I guess. Well, smell-wise, it's not as bad as American conventions. For the most part, but you don't really get con funk at these doujinshi events. But then again, they're also fairly short as opposed to I guess Comiket is longer, but the one we went to this time was just a single day event from 10:30 a.m. until 3 p.m.
It's supposed to be until 3 p.m.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
So, let's talk about actually the con itself that we went to.
What can we call it, a con? I guess they describe them as events.
Yeah,
but
I guess. I'm just used to saying con.
Yeah.
It's we went out and hung out with a bunch of nerds, so it's a con, but it's not really the same thing. The main difference between doujinshi events and American cons is that the doujinshi event is primarily just a selling event. There's a slight element of the hangout factor, there's a cosplay area where people dress up and take pictures of each other, but overall there's not the panels, the concerts, the dances, all that kind of stuff that you see at American conventions.
Yeah, it's definitely even if you go in a group, you'll tend to break off and find your own things and then regroup, it seems. Or you'll go with just maybe one other friend because you don't really want to go in a huge group of people gathering around all the tables. And even then when you say selling, it's always people selling their own stuff. It's never selling figurines or...
Yeah.
I guess some people sell video games, but it's video games they've made themselves or they make crafts. And of course, comics and adult comics.
What? I wasn't aware of that. Filthy.
But the interesting thing about these kind of events in Japan is that they will, the one that we went to was called an all genre event, but sometimes they'll have ones for Osamatsu-san only, Conan only, and they'll have smaller conventions all the time which focus on different things.
Yeah, or even specific pairings I've seen for some of them. If a pairing is big enough, it can have its own event. which that's, I guess, pretty cool. I'd like to go to one of those sometime if it's involving a pairing that I'm into.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah.
And I feel like the one that we went to, Super Comic City, although it was all genres, it definitely felt more female-oriented, like for female guests. So there were a couple of guys there as well, but a couple of events I've been to in the past have been either very neutral, or I've seen a couple of posters for ones that are like, for guys.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, well, especially when we were leaving at the end of the day, it was like a huge crowd of ladies coming out of the convention center. There were areas for more male-oriented doujinshi, but I guess we just didn't happen to go to those areas, and I don't think they were as big as the other areas. So I'm not really sure what the mix of like general doujinshi creation is, if it's more females or males, or if it's about even.
Maybe it's just because we're females, and so we tend to only gravitate towards those circles a little more. I feel like it's more women who draw doujinshi. But then again, it could just be because I haven't seen or met that many guys. I mean, definitely when I was at Comic-Con a few years ago, there were a lot of guys, and there were a lot of guys selling stuff. And yeah, there were a lot of guys.
Yeah, I guess there's a element of the self-selecting circle, but at least we got the impression that it was mostly women, but we may not have just been looking in the right places. But yeah, so we went in and we just got the regular tickets. We didn't get the guidebook. So we were kind of just looking at, they have like general areas, like this area has Jump series, this area has this and that. So we just kind of picked which halls to go to based on, well, we think there's something interesting here, so let's go there.
I think also the thing to remember if you ever go to a Japanese event is that they will name sections based on the Japanese terms for that fandom. Which are different from the West. So like, what was it? We were looking for free, and it's called Splash in Japanese.
There was a splash zone where everyone was getting wet.
No, that would ruin their doujinshi pages.
Oh well, just the floor. The floors needed frequent mopping from all the wetness.
Heyo.
Heyo. But yeah, so we kind of went. Like, we started out in one hall, and then we were just kind of going up and down each aisle, which in retrospect wasn't the most efficient way, because we didn't realize how little time we actually had.
Yeah, so it started at 10:30, so we got there at like 10:20, and we walked over to the hall and picked up our ticket, and then kept walking, and kept walking, and kept walking, and then we lined up, and it was really hot, so we were lining up outside for like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we got in. So it was like about 11 when we actually got inside.
Yeah. And then we headed into a hall and wandered through.
Which we should have, I guess we should have cut out the areas that we weren't interested in. Like, oh, this section's Conan and Hetaria. That's not really our thing. So once we realized that, we started efficiently cutting out bits.
Yeah. But still, it's also hard to... You can't really go fast down the aisles because there's a lot of people crowded around, too.
And you want to look at stuff.
Yeah. And then Jen wanted to stop and look at stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I just kept saying things that I was like interested in or my kind of thing, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was very happy with the selection that I got.
Yeah.
I'm into a lot of things, so it worked out nicely. And I even found somebody who I follow on Twitter who's a Cardcaptor Sakura artist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't realize was a guy. But his artwork is really pretty and gorgeous, and it's not 18 plus at all. It's just cute Sakura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't judge me. I love my Cardcaptor Sakura.
You actually had one of the pictures of your lock screen on your phone or your background?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have different pictures on the background of my phone and my tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, saw the tape. I was like, I know this artwork.
I was like,
wait, I know this artwork.
Deja vu. I've seen this art before. So, yeah, we ended up stopping a lot and then always, like, also trying to just get through the crowds of people. Like, there was us two plus one other person, so we were trying to also keep track of each other, which can be hard in that sort of environment where it's like, oh, somebody saw something they like and stopped, and it's like, oh, wait, where'd they go? We have to turn back and see. And
I was like, you guys can go on, I'll find you, which we ended up doing in the end.
Yeah, eventually we split up a little bit more.
I think it was about, 12:30 when I noticed that people were starting to like clear up their tables.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very surprising. Like only like only a couple hours in, I know some doujinshi artists have like, they have a popular new work, and then once they sell out, they leave, but it seemed like there was other people who like still had stuff, but they were already starting to pack up after just a couple hours, So
then we were like, oh crap, we need to get through this ASAP.
Yeah.
So we went to the jump pool and split up and got our own little things. But even then it was pretty picked over by like 1:30.
Yeah, I think about as when we got over there, I was looking for the Dragon Ball section because that's what I gravitate to.
What?
Yeah. But I wasn't sure exactly where they were, but luckily one of the artists, or a couple of artists I follow on Twitter, had like their table numbers listed in their profiles, which is very helpful, because once you find one Dragon Ball thing, you're going to find all the things of the same series in one area. So I was able to go over to that section, and it seemed like most of the people from there hadn't packed up and left yet. But there still wasn't a lot of Dragon Ball tables, maybe 10 or less than 10, but I did buy a few things. I didn't really have the pairings and stuff that I wanted, but there was one with Black and Zamasu, but it turned out to not be a romance, and like it was about them like betraying each other, and that it just made me sad. No! But I still enjoyed looking at the other artists' stuff, even if there weren't characters or pairings that I was interested in buying. I still got some satisfaction. I was like, oh, look, it's a little Dragon Ball section. Yay! Yeah,
that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just seeing the different artists. I think I didn't really go in knowing what I was going to find. Because I have such as I said, a wide variety of tastes.
Yeah.
That I just ended up probably buying a lot more than either of you two, because I was like, oh, I like this and I like this, and this is cool. And I feel I get to the point where I'm like, I feel bad, I've talked to this person, I've picked up their stuff, I feel like I kind of need to buy
that obligation.
Yeah, if you're ever going to a Doujinshi event, and I mean, take about 2,000 yen with you just in case. I didn't spend that much, but it's just in case.
20,000.
20,000. Sorry, I meant 20,000 yen. Yeah,
or about $200.
Well, with the exchange rate, 150.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, it's not that bad. Justify it by making it sound less.
I can justify anything.
Yeah, I did notice you got a great variety of stuff. There was man on woman, and woman on woman, everything.
And there was art books and non-18 plus, and a couple of fan novels, and some keychains and some stickers. So yes. Everything.
Well, I was just boring and got just a few regular old doujinshi.
No, you got what you wanted. That's important.
Well, I guess it didn't really turn out to be what I wanted, but
okay, you got something.
I got something with the characters I wanted, but not in the kind of story I wanted.
It was a shame that, because as we said, people started clearing out about 1, and then we got up to the free section at about 1:30, and like that was just completely not completely gone, but like mostly
more than half of the tables were already gone. What we saw was like a lot of people were lining up over at the shipping company booth to send their stuff back, so we assume a lot of people just shut down early so they could get in that line before it got too long, or if there's other people who are coming from far away, if they had trains to catch. But so it was disappointing, because like if you do want to go early so you can get in on time, and then go with a plan,
because like we saw several people had like circled the tables that they wanted to visit, and then like put lines in between so that they could like get there the fastest. So like boom boom boom, picked up all the stuff they wanted.
And I saw people who came in with like empty suitcases ready to go on a shopping spree. Actually, on the way to the event, when we were wondering which way we should go, we saw a couple of girls with like small suitcases that looked very obviously empty, and like we think they're going to the event. Let's just follow them. Yeah, let's follow them to the next train, because we assume they're going to the same place. And what do you know? They did.
I think that's also another thing is I've never had this at a Doujinshi event before, but probably because I'm a foreigner. But I got ID'd for the first time ever buying 18 plus stuff.
I did too. Yeah. Well, one booth I did, the other one I didn't. Like,
it used to be hit or miss.
Yeah, because like the booths were literally at the same table and one ID'd and the other one didn't. Yeah, it's like, how wide are those tables? It's like 4 feet wide tables.
Probably not even. Some of them
that might have
half
two,
of that.
like, I think it's like the table's 4 feet wide, but there's 2 people at some of them. Like, you only have like a couple feet of space for your doujinshi. So I guess they probably become very friendly, or hope they're very friendly with whoever's sitting right next to them, because you're like literally right next to each other.
I'm guessing people probably know each other because they sit everybody in like groups. So you have the My Hero Academia groups and the Dragon Ball groups. So I imagine people know each other just because of the community.
Yeah.
And probably read each other's stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually at one of the Dragon Ball booths, when I was buying stuff there, I saw one of the girls behind the table was drawing. She was drawing something. And then, like, later in the day on Twitter, I saw that she uploaded a version of the finished drawing, and it said, like, to blah, blah, blah. The other person who was sitting next to her at the booth was like, oh, she was drawing pictures for the person next to her while we were shopping. Because I guess, if you're sitting at a table, well, not even all day, for only a few hours, so people find a way to occupy the time before they pack up like an hour early or more and then just leave.
We're not bitter. We're not bitter at all that we didn't get to look around more.
Yeah. But I guess we would know for future events. Like, how late does Comiket usually go?
I was just thinking that. I remember it was pretty long. Like, I think because it is so huge, it goes on for pretty much the whole day. I think it actually finishes at around 4 or 5, and it does actually finish around 4 or 5, and then it lets people pack up afterwards. Because Comiket goes on for 3 days, but the tables change every day.
Yeah.
Because you have, I think, like, Guys' Day and Girls' Day. And I can't remember what the other one is. But even then, even when you go on Girls' Day and Guys' Day, you have a mix of different things. Like, I went on the Guys' Day and there was, like, fan fiction for BBC Sherlock Holmes I found. I just think this is amazing.
Also, we didn't get a chance to check out the cosplay area at all. Yeah. We just saw... Like, we saw some people walking around in the selling areas, but you're not allowed to take pictures in those areas, partially because some people probably don't want people to know that they're selling filthy, dirty doujinshi. And so, they say no photography in the sales area, only in the cosplay area, but we never made it over there during the day. Like, at the end we had time because things were shutting down early anyway, but by that time we were like tired and hungry and needed to go get some food and water and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. If you're looking for a doujinshi event in an area near you, if you're going to Japan, just you have to Google it in Japanese, but doujinshi and then the place, and then try and find one that matches the date. I can't remember what website we used. The websites will also all be in Japanese, but they'll also list how much the entry is and where you can get tickets. The one we got our ticket on the day, but you could have bought one in advance for a little bit more money.
Yeah, they were selling the guidebooks. The guidebooks act as a ticket as well, so you could go to like an Animate or other similar type of anime stores and pick up the guidebook, which then acts as your ticket. But it's like, I thought about doing that, but it was more expensive. It's like, why would I want to pay more money? But I guess that maybe it gets you in a little bit earlier because you don't have to stop and buy a ticket.
And you can also look at what is who is where, so you can prepare in advance, which I think is what a lot of people did.
Yep.
But you also, I mean, tickets aren't capped, so it's not like you're not gonna have a ticket if you leave it till the day of. Yeah,
you just may have to wait in line, though.
Our line wasn't.
Yeah, the lines were actually very efficient. I
think that the pre-bought tickets line was longer than the non-pre-bought tickets.
Possibly. But once we got to the event, we saw this huge line snaking all around in the front of it, but it was constantly moving. It's not like we were there for a while. It was only after we got the tickets and then we're waiting to get into the hall that we had to wait. But I'd say, Japan does lines better than America. There was no weird changing of formations midway through like we've had at American conventions.
And there's no cutting in line, which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, Jen likes that. Some other Anibros might not like that because that's how they get places faster.
But it's just so much more civilized and better for everybody if you don't cut in the line. What is wrong with you people?
This has been a rant by the British Organization for Politeness. So how would you rate it overall compared to other doujinshi events that you've been to?
I feel like because I was with a fellow Fujoshi this time, I got a lot more stuff and I had a lot more time to look around at the stuff I was interested in. The one I went to before in Fukuoka was really small. It was about a quarter of the size of this one. And I think I needed about 2 hours to get around that one. But because I was with my now husband, then boyfriend, they were pretty much done in an hour. And I was like, but I want to look around more. So I think it's definitely good that I went with somebody who was interested in it. There was a lot of variety, which I really liked. But I didn't like that people cleared up super early. Yeah. I think I've been spoiled by American conventions, which go on non-stop pretty much every single day of the weekend.
Yup. Yeah, I guess the only one I can really compare it to is my Comiket experience from a long time ago, which, yeah, I feel like I had a bit better time at this one, as Jen said, like having someone else with you who is interested in the same things, because last time I went with my roommate that I had at Waseda University, and like, she just kind of came along, was like, oh, something's happening, sure, I'll go, but she doesn't really like know about all the BL stuff or whatever, so sometimes I felt like I should really stop and look at this because I know she's not like into this, and then sometimes I saw her eyes go like, what?
Yeah, it's like you probably didn't want to know this about me.
It's like, by the way, yes, we're staying in the same room and now you know that I'm filthy trash. I
feel like because I've grown up a lot, I don't care as much. So like the girl we were with was like, what are you getting? I'm like, I don't care, this looks hot. Ha ha ha. Yeah. No shame. Yeah. But,
well, apparently she thought we were going to kink shame her. It's like, oh, I shouldn't, no, don't look at what I'm looking at. It's like, no, it's fine. I don't care what you're into. Osamatsu-san, incest, whatever. That's like low level.
Yeah, if that's your thing, that's fair enough. But she was like 17, so I think she was a little too scared. She'll be 18 soon anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like they may not have checked her ID anyway, but we're being, I guess, Fujoshi senpais, raising the baby Fujoshi.
Get them while they're young, I guess.
Oh my.
No, not like that. No, I'm not into Shota or anything. Ew, no, that's not my thing. That's not my cup of tea. If it's yours, fair enough, but not mine.
Right, this is a judgment-free zone, at least out loud. Yes. Fujoshi may secretly judge each other, but they won't start a war over it. That's the Fujoshi sisterhood that we're trying to promote here.
So was there anything that you wish had been done differently, or just do you want to go back to another one?
Yes, I would need more. I guess
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. I need to, I guess, better plan at a future one, just in case it's like a situation where you don't have a lot of time because things may close down early. So it may be a good idea to get the guidebook, at least like one to share between a group of people so everyone can kind of get an idea of, okay, this is the series I'm interested in. And then, yeah, I guess do a bit more splitting off so people can go to what their areas of interest are and then meet up again. Because staying together the whole time might mean that you're spending time in an area that not everyone's interested in, and
that's true. I think the one risk about only going to things that you're like, you know, it means that you miss stuff that you would like but probably wouldn't miss.
True.
Like that was one nice thing, was walking around. It was like, I had no idea this was going to be here. Oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I picked up one really random doujinshi that was it just looked funny. Like it was a completely original story, but I would have completely missed it if I just looked at all the fandoms I'm interested in. True.
And we also found that like that one hot BL something that was like just a random one that we weren't sure what series it was. Yeah. It's like, this looks hot. Look at that. Oh yeah. Buying that.
I need to read it.
Yeah.
It's in my pile.
Have you looked at any of the stuff you bought in detail yet?
Yeah, I've read a few of them.
Okay.
They're really easy reads, but I need to finish reading them before packing them away.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite out of what you've looked at so far?
Yes. there's a really cute one. It's a free one with Haru and Makoto, and like, Haru's getting really jealous because there's obviously a guy who's really interested in Makoto, and Makoto's just completely clueless. And it's cute. It's really cute.
Cute, and is it hot?
Yes, it's very hot. I mean, how else are you going to show that somebody is yours? By tricking them to come to the door of the classroom while you're humping them. Yay! It's really cute!
Oh, it's so cute! It sounds adorable.
It is. Oh, that's one thing as well. Is if you've never been to a Doujinshi event before, you can ask to look through, and often they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead," and then you like, "Yes, I'd like it," or like, "Oh, thank you very much," and you put it down. You can walk off, and it helps to ask as well for 18+ because I think I got ID'd for one of them just to read it, and then a couple of others to buy it, but not ID to read it. I think probably because I'm a foreigner and they're scared.
Yeah. Like, oh my god,
what do I do? And even had one person who was like, "Is this BL? Is that okay?" And I'm like, yes, like, yes, it's fine.
Bitch, that's why I'm here. I should have worn the pin that I found.
Oh yeah, tell them about the pin.
Yes, a few weeks ago, we were shopping at one of the many anime stores, and I found a pin that said "Riba okay," which is reversible is okay, as in switch pairing. So I bought that. And I don't know when I'm ever going to use it because I'm too embarrassed to actually wear it.
Oh, that was a perfect chance to wear it.
I should have brought it to the event and then see the knowing nods of my fellow Fujoshi.
Yeah, so if you do ever, I mean, you obviously need to know Japanese to find these things, or know somebody who knows Japanese and get them to help you hunt them down, and then try and find a booklet, unless you just want to wander around and you can ask people to look at things.
Yeah, they'll usually have a sample copy out that'll be obviously a sample copy because it's a little bit bent up.
Yes. And of course take lots of money and a bag.
Oh yeah.
They will not provide plastic bags or anything, so you need to take a shopping bag with you.
Yes, shopping bag or a suitcase in the case of many of the people that we saw. Like, I saw quite a few small suitcases, like backpack size, but there were some people who had like full-on luggage international travel suitcases. Like, they're planning to spend a lot of money today. I wonder if they brought closer to like $1,000. I'm sure there's people who spent that much.
I wouldn't be surprised because most of the doujin was between like 300 and 600, but then you had some really, really nice ones for 1,000.
Yeah.
And the popular ones are always going to be 1,000.
Yeah.
Or there was never more than.
I saw some that were like anthologies that were thicker volumes that were more like 1,300 to 1,500. Yeah, just because they were multiple stories in one and not just one person's 20-page doujinshi, but like several people's 20-page doujinshi.
Yeah. I think overall we had a really great time, and I want to go back to another one.
Yes. But alas, I'm leaving Japan soon. Jen will be coming back.
Yay! Next time you come back, we can go to another one.
Yay! All right, that will be it for today. Thank you for listening. You can check out all of the other Anibros podcasts on anibroscreative.com. We have series such as Otafu Susume, which is Jen and her husband Wes recommending stuff to each other.
Yay! Okay, it's a lot more funny than that sounds. Because it's just
bickering.
Yeah.
Some classic husband-wife bickering. You also can get some of that on Real Japan, which is hosted by my husband Josh and our friend Jason, and I often appear on them, so sometimes me and Josh go at it there as well.
Oh my.
Not like that. Be sure to check us out on the website, anibroscreative.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.